Hey guys, it's Diana, Art by Diana Myers. It's Thursday night again, Paint and Create. And tonight we're going to do a little drawing and some little pumpkins and some little witches. I've seen this lady who does like these kind of like little witches that are not really puppets, but they're little dolls. And I actually have a kitchen witch that I got a while ago and I put her in my kitchen. But I thought we'd draw a few of those. I'll show you how to do them. Not sure how I'm going to paint them yet, but I did a couple. And what's fun about them is you can put different things on the broom and in their hair and do things with their hat. So I'm going to show you how I did some basic shapes. And then we're going to do a little stack of pumpkins. I got this little canvas from Wally World. And do you guys remember this Santa? Well, this block of wood, I had to have wood cut for the deck to put lattice up. But I painted the size black. And we're going to do some pumpkins on the other side. So if you've never been here before, I help acrylic painters that struggle with painting to become more skilled, inspired, and confident in their artistic journey. So I basically help people who are just kind of new to it or just kind of getting back into it. They're hobbyists. They want a little bit more. My advanced classes, I have a paid membership and then I have a free group, which I'll put the link up. We do a lot of different things. You can go over there anytime and sign up, and it's free. And I'm there every Saturday at 4 o'clock. And I'm on YouTube now because Facebook changed the rules. These videos only are good for 30 days. We have to store them, and I store mine on YouTube. And I have like over 100 on there now. So I've been doing this like 40 years. I've been teaching about 7 maybe, or 8, maybe 9. I don't know. I worked at painting with a twist for a while. But I'm self-taught. I've been painting for over 45 years. I mean, I've been painting. Sold my work, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I'm teaching. I enjoy it. I've been teaching acrylic paints, a little bit of watercolor, all kinds of stuff. So come on over on Saturdays at 4 o'clock or every Thursday night I'm on here. And we'll get right to it because nobody wants to sit around and listen to me talk. So I'm going to turn it around. And I did this one right here, this little canvas. So before we start anything else, I thought I'd give you kind of a rundown. This is a canvas, but I got some paper here. I'm waiting for a delivery. It was supposed to be here between 1 and 5. You guys know how that goes. So if he gets here, they're knocking on the door. I'm going to step out for a minute. I'll take a second. Sign for it. But basically, I did 3 pumpkins. You can do pumpkins any way you want. I usually start out with the other ones. I made like a heart shape. In this case, you want 3. And like they're going to kind of set on top of the pumpkin below it. So you got to kind of make a little line there. Now, I use like a charcoal pencil, a regular pencil. I'll tell you, usually I just use a good old-fashioned number 2, which is fine, soft. Number 2, any kind usually. So it doesn't matter what you use. You could use watercolor pencils. So see, I'm making these C's. You can make the biggest ones right here. So if you're worried about how to divide this up, you could also just make little lines. A lot of artists do this. Sometimes they got one point in the painting that they want to make it a certain thing. They'll put a little point. There's this famous artist used to put a pin there. He did a lot of street signs, street pictures, and he would just put, so they always knew it was his. They would just flip the canvas over and there'd be this little point. So I'm just telling you that these can be erased. So if you worry about, you can even get your ruler out if you have to. I've been doing this a while, so you can get your ruler out and just like divide it up in 3s if you're worried this is going to come out a little wonky. But a little wonky is kind of cool too, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to make another set of C's here. And this set of C's, you got to make sure it's a little smaller. It doesn't have to be real small. I got this one longer. And make sure you do this straight. All right, and the next one obviously is going to be smaller, so bring your C's a little bit farther in. Straight line. Now do that little bit of a heart. Bring this to like a heart, almost like a heart. And this is where your stem's going to sit. So I always say make a V. All right. You're going to paint these anyways. Let me get I get one of these little smushy erasers I use. All right. And then you just make whatever you're going to do, whatever kind of little thingy you want. I like long ones. Now, if you want to fancy this up a little bit, you can start putting in some little lines. we're going to paint this too, so. There you go. Now I'm going to add some foliage to this around the edges. And you can do like little leaves. And little leaves are just like I call them footballs. Just make these little footballs. You can make little tendrils. You could just put splats of paint if you want to. You could just dab and make flowers. You could just kind of be creative with these. They're a lot of fun. So that's one set of something. So now I got another piece of paper here. It's just paper, not card. Some's cardstock, some's paper. Just trying to use it if I had. I just went and cleaned up a bunch of my drawers out today. Oh, what a mess. So these are little, like I said, I seen this lady does like kind of puppet dolls. And I really love these. I actually have two dolls my daughter gave me last year. They have on my couch. They're adorable. I had a picture of them earlier if you see my story. And I said my witches be chillin'. So maybe it's what I'll call this group. So what I did was I kind of made like a leaf or a teardrop for the bottom part. It's about halfways up. Halfways up. Now I'm no big time drawer. Most of it I learned just from just doing it. But I've always been a doodler. So drawing is important. I think it's important to set up your watercolors, to design or do the composition of any picture. If you have a little bit of drawing skills, you ain't gotta be fantastic. Just enough so that you can make shapes and stuff. So if you want to get more into it, of course, you know, you can do a lot of stuff with it. You know, caricatures and portraits, but a little bit of drawing skills, it goes a long way. Even if you end up doing like big things, you know, murals and stuff, you gotta learn how there's like this grid thing you can learn, which I learned. It's all kinds of stuff, different ways of doing it, but some drawing skills is not a bad thing. I'm just getting you guys up here before I go on any further. Now, mind you, we're on the main page tonight, guys, if anybody's getting confused. Because I do, like I said, I do a class on Saturdays. Let me see. Make sure I'm in the right place. I'm real famous for going to the wrong places. Okay, I'm in notifications. Why? All right, right here. Oh, wait over here. I think I need to be over here. Give me a second. This always takes a while. I don't know why. Usually I just hit it. It goes up, and not all the time. Not all the time. Oh, come on. Come on. Sometimes you just need to refresh. There I am. Okay. Should be, there I am right there. See if anybody's on here yet. I'm going to turn the sound down now. Because I do, like I said, I do a class on Saturdays. All right. There I am. The sound down. Won't have an echo. Then I go back over and make a comment, see if anybody's on. Funny thing, sometimes, hello, sometimes there's people on here, but not up here. Sometimes up here, I get different people in different places. The weirdest thing, right? All right, so I don't think anybody's on yet. Well, anyways, so now we did the pumpkins, and we're going to be working on these little witches. So we started off with like a teardrop or a leaf. Let me show you. This is just something I was kind of fooling around with this morning. I said, you know something? I want to do some more. So we're going to kind of, I think I'm going to end up doing a bigger one of these for like a class. And then I did kind of a, like right above this, about middle, I did like just an empty circle. Now use that circle to decide how I want to do the hat. And obviously you want to do one on one side and one on the other. You can do them any way you want. Make it wonky. And then you can do the hat. I did this one straight and this one wonky. So you can do the hat pretty thin on the bottom, not too thin. Then you can kind of get kind of crazy. Like I said, you're going to have an eraser. Preferably either one of these kneaded erasers or a white eraser. Do I have one here? Because if you use like the ones with the colors on the end, the pink or the purple, it gets all over. Get yourself a white eraser. They sell them right at Walmart. It's actually, they got them. I just bought some to give out for prizes. And I do challenges. And they had them in Walmart's in the kids, you know, back to school stuff. They were pretty cheap. I want to say they're 3 for like $2.92 or something. So now you got your hat and you got your body. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, on her I made a body, and this one I kind of just went like this, and I made a bow. There's going to be a bow here. Then I kind of made an elbow, and I made her hair like this. Make some hair kind of behind her. And I'm going to leave that plain. And then I just, on the top of this, I just did a little broom. On this side, kind of follow it. You got yourself a witch. Now this one, I think when I seen it was kind of black with multicolors on the tip. This looks like boobs, but make sure you're gonna, it's not boobs, guys. It's actually gonna be a bow. Do her hair a little higher. I can erase some of this on the inside. All right. So there's one. I got this one. It's basically the same thing. I did her hat different. And on this one at the end of, I did a little, just 2 circles. We'll do a little painting on these in a minute. You can do what you like. You can screenshot if you want to do those colors. It's white, and I got like, it's called, these are all Deco Art paints. Deco Art. I got a whole tray of them over here. And this one is, I wanted Spice Pumpkin, but this is like Warm Sunset. Tea Berry, and this is True Blue, and then I got like a Kelly. This is Jewel Green. So, pretty colors. Use what you want. And I'm going to get me a small, this is small painting, you use a small brush. So I'm going to get me a small round brush, smallest one I can find over here. I just cleaned a lot of my brushes out because I was like grabbing stuff, didn't know where nothing was. I said, I got to stop doing that. And I got rid of a lot of paint stuff. I got rid of a lot of stuff on here, so I got a little more room to play now. I will be doing more classes on YouTube. I did my second live. I'm going to do another one. And I believe it's going to be a big painting again. So, a bigger painting, actually. So, I'm going to do, I mix these two, the tea berry and that orange together. If you have Spice Pumpkin, it'd be even better. So, I'm just going to paint this on. I'm going to follow the direction of the subject, which is a pumpkin. So, just paint, this is a small medium. I'm going to kind of highlight this, show you about, we'll do some highlights and we'll make it interesting. You could use a palette knife on this. You do all kinds of stuff. If you're not real good at making flowers or leaves, that's kind of stuff you got to practice. I mean, you got to have a little practice time. You'll say, oh, I ain't had time. Well, you know, we got time to stand in line for, you know, Starbucks, or if we got to lose weight, we'll make, you know, we'll find a half an hour, 15 minutes to go for a walk or swim or whatever. So you really do got to make the time. And women are so busy. There's a lot of years I didn't paint. I had 6 family, and I had kids, and I worked, and had a little salon, and, you know, and I still did it. I mean, it wasn't like every day. Now it's more because I'm doing these classes. I'm doing at least 3 a week. So, you know, I've improved because I'm doing it more. I have 2 girls that have been with me since the beginning of this. I started this 5 years ago. And both of them are doing amazing. I mean, both of them. They're just, this year, they're really hitting home because it takes time. And no one says, like, you got to be doing it every day. Now, the one girl, Lori, she's been working at it every day. So there's a definite improvement. But that improvement came because of her toolbox. She's been doing it for years. You're not going to forget anything. It's like I'm doing this later as I get up. It's like you're just like learning to ride a bike. So then you learn to ride backwards, and then you learn to put a basket on. You learn you can carry stuff. You can put your friend on there. So as you go, you're going to get better at it. And even if you don't do it for a while, you get back on your ride again. So you might have to brush up some of your skills, but you won't really forget. So just putting it out there. I kind of want this one just a tad. Maybe we'll do the top one in blue. Maybe make this one a little pinker. How about that? I was going to do a whole different thing, but I'm talking. Every time I get to talking, I do stupid things. All right, so I'm going to do this blue one. This one, I'm going to do a light blue. It's a thing now. They're just changing the color up of the pumpkins, but the blue pumpkins are kind of cute. So you don't really forget. You get back into it when you can. So I used to keep just a little area. I finally got my own area. So I started out on my lap. I am not kidding. I got pictures. A little tiny trailer. My husband was in the Navy. My kids are little. That was the only safe place where a kid would. So I finally got my own place, and we got our house, and I had the kitchen dining room table, and I had a little spot. It's my spot. You have your spots. I have my spots. And they would leave days. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I would do some painting, you know. So it is a time issue. But what I did was I talked about leading a creative life. I would like maybe think about the subject when I was working, and I would, you know, think about what colors I'm going to use or how I would set it up. I'd look at the clouds and say, I got green and blue I'm mixing together, guys. Green, blue, and white. And I would think, oh, you know, so I spent a lot of time doing that kind of stuff, even though I wasn't physically painting. So you can be creative, look at things, and come up with ideas for them. Use your creative side. Use your right brain. I call your right brain, which I teach, which I got to do. It's been a while. I think that's going to be a YouTube video pretty soon. Yeah, I'll do a little like a little talking thing. I did 10 tips to get you painted. So I'm just kind of dabbing on some colors. Let me just kind of dab on some stuff here and get some leaves going. So you ain't got to be real fancy. Just put some on the bottom. Just with a round brush. And you don't have to do much. It'll do it for you. It'll make the leaf just simply by laying it down and giving it a little dash. I don't like these ones. We're going to fix them a little bit. So you get the idea. I wanted to do a little background on this. Maybe we'll do a little beige or something. I think I'm going to make this a little different color too. You know, the acrylic paint is nice as it dries so fast, so you can change it up if you want to. You can change it up. You can change it up, no problem. Okay. Just want a little more yellowy orange. Just put a little bit of this. I get this one called Baby Duck. Isn't that a cute name for paint? I'm going to mix a little bit in with that orange I made. And get it open. Yeah, so I don't know, I called. They said they were going to be here between 1 and 5. And they have not showed up. They said they're running behind. Well, I guess this is behind 2 hours. Although I have to say, sometimes they have shown up at dark. I mean, it's just, I have problems with walking. And now these hospitals all have, yeah, that looks all right. That's not crazy about that. Hold on. Let's mix that. These hospitals now got the security thing. I live in a city, so it's not just like you walk in and it's easy. It's not. Then to top that all off, they decided to redo all the highways in the same 3 years. It is a mess. A 15-minute ride twice turned into over an hour, guys. So I have it delivered now. So I'm not spending an hour both ways. I don't live right in the city anymore, so she said it's on its way. So I'm waiting. My daughter was here for her birthday. She took the week off, and I thought, oh, she's only going to be here. Well, I didn't listen to her. I didn't know she was staying the whole week. So I could have had it delivered Wednesday. I don't think it makes a difference. I think they're just busy. So see how I'm just laying that down? And you can pick up some different colors. And I feel like I need some yellow in here. So let's go right ahead. I'm going to take my little palette knife. I'm going to get a little plastic one. I got a plastic one. And I'm going to get this yellow. I'm going to mix the yellow with a little white. And I'm going to kind of put some color in here, just a little bit. Yeah, sometimes what you use makes a difference too, you know. I usually go ahead and, there's a little orange getting in here, but that's okay, that's what I want. Mix up some of these colors. I like it when it's a little wild and wonky looking. I'm a big palette knife artist too. If you don't know me, I do a lot of palette knife. I've really been trying to get right back into it. You know, I've been doing so many of these classes, I feel like I'm neglecting it. So that's what I've been working on. Got a few things going, a few things in the oven. Let's see. So I like it when all the colors get mixed up. That's okay. Let's see what happens. Sometimes you got to do a Bob Ross and have little happy accidents, and you come up with some really cool things. That's the thing about having some time to paint. Doesn't matter if it's good or not. You know, what's that famous artist? He says, go ahead and make art no matter what people think. Just keep right on making it. Just keep making it. So this is just a little card. I also have this little ATC group going inside of my the free group, the Artsy Rose Shop. So you'll see, you know, if you go up in the chat section, just let you know what you want to do, and you can get inspiration. And just recently, I finally got around to getting a book. We've been doing it over a year and putting all the pretty things that we got. Well, you can go over there and get some ideas, even if you don't want to do ATC, and meet the girls and just talk and just say, yeah, I want to do it or not do it. And, you know, you can learn a lot of stuff from, it's like little mini arts. I used to do in my salon, I got kind of talked into it because some of the ladies wanted cards. And at that time, you know, Hallmark cards were, oh my God. Let me do this with my palette knife. We're getting really stupid. So, and they wanted something different with a team here in Syracuse, SU, so for her grandson. So then next thing you know, another one asked. That's a good thing. When people ask you to do art for them, that's a good sign. And then I'd put things up in the wall and they would sell. And then someone said, Diana, can you do a show at the library? I said, sure. So just doing it and getting it out there is a big thing, even if you're trying not to sell, or even if you're not even looking to sell. I was at the point where I had been painting for many years, and a lot of people didn't even know I painted. I was just doing it for enjoyment. So you get this, like I said, do your own thing. Just kind of eyeing it up, making it a little wonky. I feel like it needs some dark areas. You gotta have contrast. So I'm gonna pick up, I think instead of black, I'm gonna do some brown. I don't always like using black. You know, it's just so such a flat color, but I want something dark. So I got this cinnamon stick. We'll use a little bit of this just to give us some highlights. Isn't that pretty color? It's a newer color. It's called cinnamon stick. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to take that and I'm going to go in here with my palette knife, or you can use a small brush and just kind of start making some little marks. Making some marks and just putting in some little designs. Now you get yourself a little piece of art. You could frame this up. This will actually fit in a pretty good size envelope. I do the bigger envelopes, the colored ones. Pick up at Michael's, or I get them on Amazon. A little bit of color here too. We're going to fix up that other one. We're going to mess around with these witches. I got to finish that that Santa. I did two sides with the one side's a Santa and one side's a Halloween, so it's a twofer. I think I got too many highlights, so let's kind of bring the blue back into here. Too many highlights. Get a little crazy with the highlights. It's okay. It happens. A little blue down here too. How about that? That works. Put some of that orange up in here. That'll work, right? Ah, there we go. And let's put a little weight down here. So now you get themselves a little funky couple pumpkins. So we'll do the other ones. We'll do them a little different. So here's one set of pumpkins. Hey, Kathy Jo. Hey, Joellen. Hey, Diana. So it is Diana, right? Yeah. Look at that. So you could take those 3 pumpkins and do anything you want. You could do stickers. You could do a little sponging. Anything. Just make the 3 pumpkins and play with the colors. So now I'm going to do this one. All right. We're going to color this one a little different. I think I'm going to do the... Then we'll play with the witches, and hopefully I'll get enough time here. I'm going to start my the other one. So let's do like a wood background. Let me get that. There's that cinnamon, and I'll take that. Get another small brush. And I'm going to make kind of a wood look background. You know what I mean? Kind of a country look. No, I need different, I don't want that one, I want this one. I got just the brushes I love to use out right now. So I'm going to kind of do this like wood look. So I'm going to go around the outside of this. The thing is like, I made these, but you can adjust it with the paint. Luckily this dries so fast. If I learned with oil, that's a whole different ball game. Which I learned a lot with oil. Oil, really, when I picked up our acrylics, it was really a lot, not totally easy, but it was easier. Only because the drying factor. And you don't have to use as many chemicals. But I can go back and now adjust these. If I do this wonky and I didn't sketch it good, because when I first did it well, and when you're drawing on canvas, it's hard. It's easier on paper. Especially if you get, like say, oh, I drew a couple times on there good, and the next time I could, because it depends on how they finish the canvas. So this is amazing for good. When you can get them, sometimes you can't find them. So I'm just putting this on, kind of dry brushing it on. I'm going to put some lines in here and give this kind of a wood look. Now normally you could just put the whole brown background on first, and you can maybe chalk in or pencil in your pumpkins too. That's an option. See, I'm not worried about, because I'm going to go back with the paint and fill that back in. Kind of over direct it. Yeah, or they call it cutting in. There's all different names for it actually. So I try to keep this stuff, so everybody can learn it, Try to come up with some different ideas. I mean, everybody's doing pumpkins right now, so. All right, so I'm going to take this up. See, I can take it up now a little bit. Let me get different color blue. I think I'm going to do like a light blue pumpkin on the bottom. This one's actually called Baby Blue. Deco Art. No, this is sky blue. Well, there's a baby blue too. This is a pretty blue. It's down. We're going to do blue on the bottom. Same brush, a little dirty. It's okay. I come back and just go around the outside first. Get your shape in. That's all. See, you go around, get your shape. Follow the shape of your item, your thing, your subject. You'll find that your strokes will work better too if the way the water is flowing. Now, if you're a slow painter, I put in my group there. There's a medium that you can buy on Amazon. You can actually get it at Michael's or anywhere. It was a good price though, but you don't have to do that either. What you can do is an old-fashioned way to slow, to keep the paint wetter longer. Spray bottle. Should always have a spray bottle and a piece of chalk on your painting thing if you're doing all acrylics. The chalk is so when it dries, you can put the shape in on a darker canvas. I just bought some black canvas, so that's going to be fun. So there you go. I got my, and we can adjust this more with the highlights or lowlights, depends. Highlights though, you can adjust it with the paint. So let's do this one in blue. It should be the next color. I kind of been wanting to do some purple. Let's do a purple one. Velvet Crush. I haven't used this in a while. I also went and cleaned all my paints out. That was fun. I did like a couple hours yesterday, maybe an hour last night, a couple hours this morning, and I have not even touched the surface in here. There's so much stuff. Although I tell you guys that in my ATC group, a couple of you are on here, I found more stuff to put in the, my book, my ATC book. And I know I'm not done because from last year, I have it all stored in a bag here in the closet, so there'll be more going. So I got a good 4 pages of really pretty stuff. Yeah, pretty happy about that. Ooh, fun going through all this stuff too. This purple's like this. This one's like a crushed purple, crushed velvet. Isn't that pretty? I think that'll be okay with that blue. I just want to show you that you can do different colors. And like I said, this is acrylic paint. So if you don't like a color, get your blow dryer or just walk away and let it dry and come back. See, now these ones I got them kind of thinner. They're not as fat as the other one, but you can fatten them out simply by just going out. Just go out. I kind of like this purple, huh? It's cool, right? It's cool. Now the orange goes with purple. So now I think I'll do the top one in orange. You should play with the color too. Always play with the color a little bit. You learn a lot when you do that. Absolutely. Now some people I teach how to do color blocks. And all that means is you're just like learning what a color will do. You could take, like, say the color purple, add yellow to it, that's a block. Add white to it, that's a block. Do it by itself, that's a block. Add black to it, that's a block. And that's how you learn to use the colors and what they'll look like. And when you're doing a painting and you're making decisions about what you need, I make little notes. And I put it next to the painting I'm doing. Sometimes at the bottom of the painting of a big one. So that's something that, you would do. You would learn your colors. No one says you got to be a Picasso, but and I can't listen to that color theory stuff. Bits and pieces I'm okay, but sit down and I have done it. Read some color theory books. I had to do it for hairdressing. Let me tell you something. Snooze a Rooney. And when they start getting really technical, oh God, give me a nap, right? Give me a nap. Hey Tammy, do you? What are we looking at? Do you guys rewatch? I told you I'm in this business group and we talk about, one of the things we talked about, I haven't been over there in a while, is more people are rewatching. So I used to get upset if there wasn't as many people, but then I'll have, if it's something people really, that's how I tell if you're interested too. Because I can look at my business section and see who's watching it, if it's been watched, how long, like all the stupid stuff in there. But that's how I know. So when I have, say I have 4 people, 5 people on the show, then I'll have 15 rewatches. So, and for some reason it doesn't always get on here. I'll say, oh, I was on there. I seen you all day yesterday. Well, if you don't kind of chime in and say something or click in, you won't show up on here. So, but they are watching. So just so you know that sometimes if you guys are doing little online stuff, hey, Lori. And hey, Tammy. Did you retire? Me too. I retarded, got out. Well, the COVID. I had a salon. The COVID. I was doing the art pretty much full time at Painting with a Twist because, Painting with a Twist had to close. I closed that and my business the same year. But they were paying us, so I went back to school, took a lot of marketing and stuff. So that was cool. I never got unemployment before, which was a good thing because they found out my husband had cancer about. It was December. They had started in March. I don't get everybody depressed, but yeah. So and I did it. I went back for a while. And I got all this stuff to keep everybody clean. I bought all the crap. I made the lines and everything. And it's just my clients that come in and say, I don't care, and give me a hug. I'm like, my husband's got cancer, guys. You're not supposed to touch me. So I says, something. I was about ready to stop anyways. And I was doing enough business that I knew right after that I'd be doing Painting with a Twist stuff on my own. I did a lot. I made a lot of money doing that. But I just took it a hiatus. Right now I'm doing this. But I had to. It just was too much. 2 jobs was too much anyways. But I love my clients. I still contact a lot of them come on here. You'll have every now and then you hear me say hi to somebody. I have clients that still come on here. A few of them have passed. A lot of them, I didn't for 30 years, 35 years, and they were I loved them to death, and they loved me, though. Let me turn this back around. I loved them. They were good to me, and I was good to them. I ended up having, like, a nice group. It took a while. It takes a while. Same thing with, like this. I've kind of got a lot of the same people, and they're kind of my groupies. So I think I'm going to do, like, an orange here. I'm going to use that Warm Sunset. I wish I knew. I had it in my hand. I had this one called Spice Pumpkin. It's very similar. It's very pretty. So now you got 3 nice colors. You know what I think would look nice with this too? Instead of doing a bunch of green flowers, I'm going to do some like white. I'm going to do like some white and maybe white, and I have this buttermilk sand color would be cool. That would be cool too. See, I'm not worried about the edges because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put in some flowers and stuff. So I'm not worried if they don't get exactly where I want it. you go over this a few times anyways. Most people do. So now I'm gonna make my little triangle I always do right here. Any color you want. And let me get a small brush, little tiny brush, little detail brush. And I will fix it up a little bit. And I'll kind of yeah, for some reason, Lori, I don't know if Kat's on here too. I thought your class was tomorrow night, and then I looked at the calendar. So I just got to do the template for it because we're going to do a class for that. A little different this time, but I did this really pretty painting for them. I want to do once a month. We do the template, and I'll probably do templates for all of them, but it's easier. But sometimes you got to teach some of the little harder stuff so that you can make your work a little better, you know. So I'm going to do like a kind of a layered class. It's a layered painting. It's kind of a landscape with flowers in it. So I'm just going over my colors. Let me go over this blue a little bit. Oh, I think I'm out of this blue. So we're doing that next week. Actually, guys, that is my anniversary. The kids want to do something. I don't know. It'd be 49 years. It would be that Thursday, and the class is Friday night. So I don't think I'm going to do anything. I have a class here on Thursday. I don't think we're going to do it. I don't know. They tell me what they're going to do. I'm like, okay, and then we go do it. We're having a party for my daughter Saturday, so I'm not going to be on here, guys. Out at the beach thing. And I gotta get a ride with my sister. They sent the invitation wrong. I don't know if she can pick me up, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't really want to drive out there. All right, so then we got 3 pretty colors, and I get this little tiny brush, so I think I'm gonna go right ahead and use that. And I'm gonna get some white and kind of do like a baby's breath, maybe. Let's see if I can like just kind of make a little like this. A little different, right? Easy to do, little dabs. You could even use the end of your brush if you want to. Just do some right up in here. We'll do some more tendrils too, but I wanted to make it look like kind of like baby's breath, maybe. I wanted this to be a little flatter, so we're gonna fix this by putting some flowers in. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, next Friday, I don't think we're doing anything, but I don't know. Next year will be my 50th. I don't know. Would have been, because he's been gone 4 years now. Yeah. I was married 45 years, right? 45 years. 1976. That's a long time, huh? I'm getting old. Kind of. So now you gotta have some greenery. Let me take some of that white and kind of just like highlight this a little bit. Just kind of touch it up. Just when you do these tendrils like this, sometimes it's just a matter of you don't have to hit everything. Just kind of just do some little pieces to highlight where the turns are, where the loop is, where the end is, and that'll make it look more like it turned. So, and then I can kind of just like, maybe do a few leaves here. Yeah, getting ready to put together. It doesn't see, I know it's like fall, but do you guys feel like it kind of came a little early this year? I mean, I don't know about where you are, but it feels like fall here. You know, I mean, it's August, whatever. I'm just going to do a few of these, not many. Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, it's kind of strange to me, I don't know. Well, we had this really bad storm. My neighbor came over on the porch talking earlier, and she was saying, oh God, it was really scary. We got leaves everywhere, but the leaves aren't turning yet. That storm was so bad, it just knocked everything. I got my whole vegetable garden on the side here. It sheared all the lettuce leaves right off my lettuce and my Swiss chard. top of my tomato plants and some of my flowers. Not everything, but 90%. So I've been out there cleaning it up. And yeah, so there's leaves everywhere. But there was no like, it wasn't like you would say like the trees came down, but yeah, but there's like on the roofs and everything. So that's kind of pretty. Just a little bit of green and a little bit of, I might leave these like they are. I don't think I put any highlights on these pumpkins. It looks kind of cool. Right? I think so. A little bit of this fun orange in there. There you go. So what do you think? A little different, but cool, right? So you can play around with the colors with the same 3 pumpkins and come up with different things. Yeah, I'm not ready yet either. I've been doing stuff. When my kids are here, I have to get some stuff done because I can do a lot. But like we put the lattice up today. I bought the wrong stuff and the drill wasn't working. I tried to return the drill. They wouldn't take the drill. I mean, it was just all I wanted was the lattice cut. So I ended up taking this little piece of the thing that I didn't want him to use, and I'm, you know, those box cutter things. And he got. I said, well, after all that, I could save myself some money. But I did know that you could get that cut at Lowe's. So I had wood cut for it for the bottom to attach to. Well, if I didn't have them here, I would have still been doing it. So, you know, while they're here, they do stuff for me. My grandson was so tired, I felt so bad. All right, so now let's do these, mess around with these little witches. And then we're going to work on my wood piece. 2 different looks, same 3 pumpkins. You could do them all orange too, you know. I was going to do like, let me turn this around. Let me do some like little lines in the back. Let me take my palette knife again. My good old trusty palette knife. And I can do white or this beigey yellow, and I can kind of make a few lines like it's a, you know, old rusty back door or something. I can't do none of that here. There's really no room, but you get the idea. All right, that's kind of cute, huh? I'll put that over there. Let these dry, so I'll stick my arm in them. So now I got these little witches. Like I said, I just drew them out. If you weren't here earlier, let me get a pencil. You could use a graphite pencil, any kind of pencil. I still love a good old-fashioned number 2 of these are graphite or, you know, charcoal, whatever. But same thing. I made like a big leaf. I got paint all over that one. Like that. And then I put, this is a ribbon actually, not boobies. Not boobies. And wait, no one's showing up on this thing tonight. I don't know why. It's not, nobody's showing up. I have to look up on the top. Like a ribbon. And then I just did a circle. And that's what I based the hat off of. You can do the hat any way you want, just like that. This one I did more perfect. And then I made a little hat head. And then you can swirl this any way you want to swirl it. You end up with this head or hat. And then I did this like this. And then I did like that. I made kind of a body, and this is kind of her arm. I did one through here, one through there, and I kind of swirled that down until I had something that looked like a room. Now on this one, same thing, except I put a cat. Now this is from a woman who does these like puppet kind of things. I was looking at them. I love them. I have a kitchen witch in my kitchen. She's different, little old hag, but I love her. She sits over my microwave on the shelf. Same thing. So I did this leaf. Then I made these long arms. This is how the one doll she has looks. And I kind of just did this like fake hand. And then I did the same thing. I just followed through and I made this line. Did this like that. And then I made the head a little tiny neck. And then I went like this for a ponytail or braid or whatever you want to call it. Little hair on her head. And then I went just like this. You can make the hat any way you want. Hers had a feather in it. So you can do the feather. Got this all in green. So now you can just take your paint, I would take a small brush, or you could even use a Posca pen, which would be cool. I didn't mean to have that green, but I guess we're going to do it green. And hers had like feathery looking things on it. And this one I think was like, it was black on the top and multicolored, like almost like metallic. I think we're going to end up doing a big one of these, Lori. Thinking, I really like witches. I'm really into witches. I just got 2 more at the Dollar Tree. They're so cute. Well, one's Dracula, but he's going to look like a witch when I get them out. I love witches. All right. See, as I'm kind of a witch myself. My husband used to call me his Irish witch. Kind of what my father called my mother, too. So I'm taking some white, and I'm just kind of making these little lines. Almost like if you guys do a gnome, you're going to do the same thing at the bottom here. Same thing, like purple to me is kind of like a fall color, so I'm going to make her torso in a purple and her hat in a purple. I'm just going to use this little tiny strokes. The thing is, when you're painting, you shouldn't really concentrate too much. I mean, you want to do the details, but don't do too many details. You will find your work will improve, because what you're learning to do is not prioritizing things that aren't important. You're only getting the things that you need. If you start doing the details before you got all the big stuff done, what happens is you overcompensate and you get disgusted. So the best thing to do is to get the important things: the head, the hat, the dress, the broom, and you'll find that your work is a little less complicated. And then if you choose to put in some details, do them last. Same thing with your highlights. Do them last. Block in everything you need first. Do the big stuff first. It just is so much easier. And you lose sight of what you're doing when you get caught up in the details. You do that last. That's why they're last. Little brown, little yellow. Probably make this cat black. Let's get some black. Or I could use a Posca pen. I got new Posca pens, guys. Finally. Let's do that feather, kind of orange, and orange looks good with purple. And I'm just going to kind of do this, but should I do something with the background? Probably not. I'm just going to leave her like this. Put a little yellow in there. Kind of pick up the color in the thing there. You can do this in watercolor, it'd be even prettier. Then you want to do the face. I'm not going to put anything on the face. I'm just going to do orange and white. A little yellow. Go with a very pale face, and I'm just going to color her in like that. I got a very small brush too, by the way. Do her arms just a tad. And we'll do her hair like in a blonde. I'm just going to dab that on. Let's see how I haven't got caught up in the details. Not really, I'm just blocking in the big stuff. Now, I want to do, you don't have to be black, does it? I don't want to get out no more color. Oh, wait a minute, I got it right here. No, we're going to do the, I got a black, actually, good old-fashioned Sharpie. We'll do that. Now it's multimedia. Now it's multimedia. There you go. Looks more like Mickey Mouse, so hold on. It's all right. Yeah, so you can detail where you need to. Oh, lost my brush. Hold on. Where'd you go? Sure, all the way across the room over here. Okay. Well, I guess you're not coming with my medication today. She said they would just reissue it tomorrow. You know, I always use this one hospital pharmacy, and there's two one. The one I started using because it's easier for me to walk in, get in and out a little farther. But I've had nothing but problems with this one. I don't know, they didn't come. I didn't hear them. Some put a little purple in there. We pick up some of this orange, throw a little orange in there. There you go, got a witch, little witch. You can fix up your mistakes with a white Posca pen after it's dry. You can just kind of come through and fix up stuff. You know, I think it's raining now. That's what I'm hearing. You could also get a bigger brush, splash some of those colors on if this is going to be a card. So I'm going to go into this purple, and I'm going to make it kind of liquidy and give it a little sprinkle here and there. There you go. Get yourselves a cute little card here. Of course, you got to sign it. Whenever you get done with your work, make sure you sign it. Give her some eyes if you want to. Don't kind of let her dry a little bit. So let's do this one with the boobies. Who's on here? I am getting none of you guys. You guys are all up here today. Tammy, y'all talking. I love witches. You like the boobies? We're doing the boobies next. I know, I got some of my summer stuff. Well, you know, I was going to have her take the air conditioner out today. But the other night, it was like 69 at night. I said, well, that's pretty cool. Well, no, it's not. I woke up, I was sweating. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, I put it on. I never knew how to use high. I was half asleep. I hit the high by accident. It was nice and cool. I slept like a baby. But, yeah, so I said, you know, leave it in like a couple more weeks. You know, I remember a couple of years my sisters didn't close the pool, or I had a pool too, a smaller one. And it would stay warm until October. So it's cold right now, but don't be surprised if we had a hot. So I said, you know, so just leave it in. The electric bill is ridiculous, so I don't really use it unless I need to, and I only use it at night now because it's ridiculous. And I just talked to her girlfriend. She's got a house. Good thing I got my house. Hers went from $200 to $400, and that's what mine used to be in the winter a few years ago. We had a pellet stove, and I had a big house, right? And then I would just put the pellet stove on and start turning the heat off a little bit. So now it's like I got all electric. I don't have a choice. So anyways, I don't use my air conditioner all the time. But it's just funny how I like every year it seems like I got some summer stuff out and some winter stuff. I've been putting the winter stuff away. I'm so bad. So I just ordered some clothes too, you know, that'll fit because I've lost a little weight. So anyways, whatever. I forget we're on a public page here. Let's go do the booby witch. We call it the booby witch. This is a booby witch. She's a chunk. Look at her. She's my girl. Look at her. She's a chunk. All right, so I think I'm gonna do her like in let's do her in different colors too. Let's get that small brush out. Put these back. So funny. Let's see. So just worry about blacking her in first. So I'm gonna do her. I think I'll do her skirt in purple. And I'm just gonna go right through, follow it all, fill it all in. I'm not gonna get caught up in all the details. If I want details, I can do them later. And that's usually where you make your mistake. As I tell you, blocking all the big stuff. I was just watching a guy talk about this who was doing portraiture. I think I might take his class. But he was talking about the same thing. Getting caught up in all the little details. If you get in there and block in the big stuff, no matter what you're doing, even if it's like, that's the owner. I know who that is. So, thank God. To wait for that about all day. 10, as they said, it'd be here between 12 and 5. I could have went today and went to the noodle house with my daughter, but no. Let's just go home. She's been here for like 3 days, so we get some stuff done. All right, so yeah, blocking in is very important, guys. So don't get caught up in the details till you get towards the end, or you'll get yourself all messed up. So we were talking about, you know, there's something that we taught in my class, which is in my book, This Woman is Famous For, was how you like do things upside down, so you don't get caught up in those details. You just follow, like when you're drawing, not when you're painting. You just follow the subject, you know, and do it upside down, and then you don't get caught up about what goes where, because a lot of times we do that, and like we'll overcompensate, make things bigger or smaller. Just do the big stuff first. Just block it in. It makes it so much easier. Then you can do your details and your highlights and all that goody stuff. Okay, let's do her boobs. All right, so I'm going to do her boobs. Well, you know that blue and green looks good together, but I'm going to do the blue. So this is supposed to be a ribbon. Right, so make it into a ribbon. So I'm just going to kind of leave a little white center in here. So then I want to do her face. I want to do her hat. We're going to do her hat. Let's do her hat pretty dark. Let's get some, did I get some black? Let's get a little black out. I didn't get black out. I went and used a Posca pen. This would be great with a Posca pen, guys. See, I got the hat looking funky. So just make sure you do it skinny on the bottom of the hat. It's like got a big flare to it. That's what makes it look cool. Now you guys see me whip this crap up. Let me tell you something. I've been doing this forever. So don't think that you're just going to, some people can. There's going to be, and there's days when I can't do much. So you're going to have days when it's better. But it does take practice. And I fell in love with these witches. And it helps if you really like what you're seeing. You know, it really, for some reason, if you want to, sometimes I can. I try so hard on some things I can't. But later, at some point, I do. But, you know, sometimes if you do it a few times and think about it and you come back maybe years later. So I should keep your old work so you can see how far you've come, you know. So I'm going to make her hair probably, I think, maybe red, maybe. Make her red, make her redhead. So I'm just blocking everything and getting her colored in. Not worried about, this applies to any kind of painting. It could be trees or a house or a barn or a dog. Same thing. Blocking the big stuff. It can be a little more complicated than that, but basically that's what it is. Block it in. Makes your life a lot easier. So he was talking about that on the face and the hair and how you would just block it in and get the different planes on the face and the nose and the forehead and the chin. And it all comes together. Same thing. Just do the blocking. Get the big colors in. All right, so we only use some flesh tones on her. So same thing. I'm going to grab that yellow and the pinkish orange here. It's called tea berry, and some white. And just keep adding white until, and a little yellow until she looks kind of pink. You can do it any facial color you want. You can get real complicated with this too, but we don't need to. She's a little witch. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the body like this. There's an arm right here. And she's just got hair right here. So I want to do like a, oh my God, I do this orange. See if this orange is orange enough for me. Yeah, make her a redhead. Let's see. Let's do her broom with the brown. Do some brown and orange on this. Well, this is, I love these little witches. These are so cute. All right, let me see. Let me kind of fill that face a little bit more. Yeah, this is supposed to be a ribbon, so I'm going to kind of make it look like a ribbon. Yeah. Little highlights on this. I think this is actually, this one was like black on the bottom more, and then it had like kind of psychedelic on the bottom. All different colors, like oranges and reds and blues. A little more purple. A lot of fun doing these. All right. So I don't know what we could put on here. I'm sure you could put something on here, right? I know there was things on here, but if you ask me, I don't remember now. But you can get quite creative. See, now I'm kind of doing a little detailing. Could bring this even out like that, right? Just like that. Give her a little more balance. Rinse this brush out. Pink and yellow and white. Kind of make a little shoulder here. Oh, a little more white. A little more pink. Yeah, we did a little shopping the last couple of days. Ran into my sister-in-law. Hadn't seen her once since my brother-in-law died. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but yeah, that's his brother. His poor sister, she's the only one left. A mother, father, my husband, and her, and both her brothers. She's the last one left. And she ain't that old. She's a little younger than me. All right. Oh, a feather. This one had a, no, that was the other one. Well, we could give her something too, right? Couldn't we give her like, let's give her some kind of flower. Let's give her some flowers in her hair. How about that? And then we'll give her a little yellow. She needs a little something, something, right? I'm going to make a little flower like right here. Get some white. There, she's got a little flower in her hair. Yeah. We could even like maybe put one right here. A little yellow, like a sunflower maybe. A little white center. Yeah, look at that. She's got flowers. You can put a little one over here, maybe in her hair a little bit. Yeah, she's a flower witch. She's a garden witch. Got her flower. Told you I got a kitchen witch. You guys ever heard of kitchen witches? For good luck? Well, mine's a hag. For good luck. It's a hag. A little green in here too. Now you can splatter that with a little paint. She looks pretty cool. Let's spatter her with some blue. Oh, that must be him. Hold on. I heard somebody. Yeah, it's him. So there's two. I'll be right back in my medicine. I'm coming. Didn't think you were going to make it today. Well, it has been a day. Well, I'm here. System's now up or not. The rains, of course. Right? We'll get it done. Alright, I'm coming back. I'm coming. He's done that before. I think he's the owner. And I think he just picks up the slack. That's what happens when you're the owner. Whatever nobody else will do, you go and do it. I tell people when I decide to go on my own, which is pretty much always, you think you're going to work harder, less. You might make more money, but you don't work less. You work all the freaking time. But, you know, luckily I've always done things that I'm good at and I love, so I've been very lucky. Aren't they cute? Yeah, so I got summer stuff out and winter stuff out. And I got a lot of stuff with paint, so I had to order some clothes. It was like, my daughter's like, do you wash them today? I'm like, yeah, they're going in the trash. Cute, huh? So that's two. We're going to do that. Look at her. She's a chunk. She's a chunk. Okay, so save that one for later. And then we're going to do my, guys, remember this? I painted the sides black, and I sketched that in. I'm not done sketching it in. Those witches are wicked cute. Somebody's going to get those in their card. Maybe we'll do them Saturday. I got to practice them a little bit more. I kind of like the chunky little one. Then I get the skinny one. Yeah, those are fun. So let me get my pencils again. So I just did the sides in black to kind of, I had these like to match this. Then I figured I could just switch them. Just a piece of 2x4. We finally got that done today. It was a project. Nothing went right. Ugh. It's up. It's working. I wanted it kind of the way we did it. I wanted it to kind of be like, so that I could just zip tie the one side and then unzip it because I'm going to put some bins on it. We need storage here. This is not a big trailer. It's pretty. It's just not big. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, which is nice. I never had 2 bathrooms. So, which I could have used for 3 girls. Trust me. I just set up a table, put all their stuff on it so they could do their hair because they used to fight in the bathroom. Oh, God, girls are the worst. And they gave me, because they used to fight over who stole what hair conditioner. So I used to sell Avon, so I gave them each their little roll pack. Put your stuff in there. If it gets left in the bathroom, include my own stuff. Too bad. I'm going to do these in white. Let's do these in white. I had seen this Christmas one, you guys, I think I did it with these guys. And it was all white. So, we're going to get creative. I'm going to do a little beige in this too. I'm going to get this little bit. This is called, this one is called Desert Sand. But they also have one called like Oatmeal or something. I forget now. There's a couple of them. So just kind of a antique looking white. You could actually add a little yellow ochre to this if you want more of an antique look. I got to tone down the background too. It's a little too bright for this. I mean, I have to, but I want to. Same thing. I'm going to get my white and a little of that sand color. Now this is wood, so this paints a little differently, but it's a pre-treated, you know, like deck wood. So this is going on pretty smooth. Now I have done wood that's old and it don't go on this good. I had took this side, I didn't do it on this side, and I had beat the crap out of it. You could say I put scratches in it. I didn't do that on this side, so it's smoother. I didn't put all the, like, I took a hammer and beat it up, and so I could still do that after. I can still do that if I want it old. And you can go over this with like a polyurethane stain like midi wax, and that'll tone it down like the brownish antique-y looking, and it'll seal it, which is going to need if I'm going to put this outside. Yeah. We're going to detail this up. It'll look different. So now I'm just blacking in the color, whatever colors I want. And usually, like, you can see through this still. You're going to do this. On most paintings, you're going to do the color of something this big a couple of times, especially if you can see through, so you can see the pencil marks. There was something else I was going to do on the side. Don't even ask me what. I don't remember right now. So I'll do the first one first. We've done the market. I got tomatoes to do, garlic and stuff, changing the subject, but I just seen a little fruit fly go by me. So I did, you guys ever did, it's an old remedy. You take a cup and you put a cone in it with paper. At the bottom you put apple cider. It works, but it got all wet, so I gotta make another one. But how the heck I didn't get all the way back here? I don't know. But we went to the market. Every time I go to the market, it seems like they show up, you know, bringing fresh veggies in. Every time. So I'm going to kind of adjust these now. This is when you kind of come in and you can do your adjusting now. And this one is setting on top, so it's going to be a little bit flatter. So let's kind of, yeah, that works. This one too. Kind of bring this bottom flatter. It's going to be sitting on top of, there you go. All right, so the shape's all, trying to keep the, I'm going to take a little brown and kind of, so I can see this indication. I'll kind of blend it up into here, what's still wet, and down into here. Just so you know there's a little line here. So we're not having a class on Saturday because we're having that party. But I got a few things. I'm going to be doing some more polls that I need to ask my ATC group and my group in general. So be looking for them polls. If you don't want to answer them, fine. But I really like it if you even give me a no. You know, because sometimes I just don't know. I think, oh, that's a great idea, and then I do it, and crickets. Nobody's interested. So I need to know if you're even slightly interested. Just put yes, and I usually leave one extra section so you can put something in there like a comment. Maybe you got a different idea or a thought, you know. So I'm just taking that brown and kind of blending it into this white and just changing the shape. You can see what I'm doing. I picked up a little black too and kind of just put it right in here. Then I put the white over the top and kind of blend that in while it's still wet. You gotta get them wet. And like I said, if you paint slow and you need to blend, you can't blend after it's, oops, see what I did? After it's dry. So the best thing to do is come in, spray it with a little spray, water, just plain old water. Although I'll tell you, one day I was busy on here and I was literally using my juice. I have a good dress this, so nobody knew. I had to use some juice. Painting came out great. It just needed to be juiced up, you see. It's a true story. Whatever works. If you got a little tea or something, it'll work too. They used to use all kinds of stuff, by the way. They didn't use just water. But they didn't have acrylic back then. They didn't come out till, I want to say, the 70s or 60s. I gotta go look. I used to know. It was there was oil and there was water. And there was gouache or squash. It hasn't been around that long. So I'm kind of just putting some colors here and there and kind of trying to make this look a little antique-y. Let me get my ochre. You know, I use my ochre for everything. If I could find it. I got my 3-tier cake stand back out because I just get sick of going over there. I went and cleaned my rack out on the wall, my shoe rack full of paint. I didn't throw a lot away, but there's a lot of colors I probably wouldn't use. So I'm going to donate some, but a lot of them went in the trash. I mean, they had like 80 shades of gray. I make my own gray. I don't want that. Can't get some. So I got that done, and then I went through this drawer. And I should take you guys through. I added more pictures to that book. I got me one of those ATC, you know, albums. I love it. I just love it. I was showing my daughter was here earlier. She goes, "What's this?" She just loved it. I said, "This one is this one, and this one took classes with me, and this one's Barb, and this one's Tammy." You know, so good fun. You really get nice. That's why lately I've been. If you notice, I've been telling people to come into our group and go look at the ATC area because we're doing a lot of great art. I mean, they're not always doing the cards, but they're doing watercolors and they're doing multimedia and, you know, stamping and inks, and everybody has a wealth of information, you know, so they can ask each other. So I just think that's super cool. So I'm using sand, this yellow ochre, and just a touch of black on the seams. Yeah. So you really, that's what I said when I did my greeting cards, when I was in the salon, I used to like get a lot of requests. So I just started doing all different seasons, and I had a shoebox. And I sold them for $4 a piece. So if I sold 10 in one day, that was $40. That's good money. And I just learned that I could do a lot of different techniques and paintings, and I'd ask people what they wanted, and I'd do it by the holiday, and I just would leave it there. And, people would pick up, randomly. And I stopped doing it. I remember one lady came to me. She's since died. She's Orthodox. And she's like, Diana, I do most of my shopping here. Because I also made like clay pins, and I made all kinds of just little odds of things, and I would set them on the table. I mean, I was doing it anyways. I always did crafts Christmas time with my kids, ornaments, all kinds of stuff. And I didn't realize that, yeah, they did do it. So I started doing it again for the holidays. I would just come up with stuff. One lady had a lot of them were pretty well to do. And she would have this little fundraisers with her church. So she had me make 40 pins. And she paid me I think I charged her $200. I made them. And I was thrilled. And I gave her a deal because I think I was getting a lot more than that. So, yeah. So, it was a good little gig, a little extra money. Kind of like doing eyebrow waxes, a little extra money. It all adds up. It's all in the small stuff sometimes. It's not just the big things. I used to say that when we sold Avon years ago. They used to say it was all in the smalls. I sell my paintings at different places, which I will do again, because I got a whole bunch. I just stored a whole bunch again in my thing. I just bought a garage thing or whatever, chest for outside. And I would they tell you to sell things that are small that people can afford, but have a couple big things at the top. So she gets a lot of money, and I do when I sell. And so they'll be interested in buying the small stuff. And you'd be surprised how many small little things you can sell. You would be surprised. The lady would say, Diane, you get a bunch of your stuff sold today. Because I pay taxes on it and stuff. And she put it on my POS, whatever you want to call it. And I would go in there, and there'd be like 30 little $4, $2, $6, $5 paintings and stuff, little trinkets that I made and stuff. It's all painted stuff by then, so don't put doing this little small, stupid little something. People love primitive looks too. So if you're doing like some of this primitive stuff, people love it. I gotta change the background up on this. This doesn't really, it ain't working. I'm gonna do this background in the brown. I'm gonna go right back, get my little brush here. Make this background look a little like wood too. I'll go over this blue. It's a good thing. Sometimes when you paint a background color in one color, like this is cool, and we're putting a warm shade on it, it's going to really make this pop. It's an art trick to underpaint. They call it underpainting. You'll see a lot of them start in like orange or the burnt umber, sienna. I like ochre myself. Some people use blue and reds. And then, because it's like a cool background, like the blue, it's a cool color. If you know that, I don't know. And then you go over it with a warm color. All those little pieces show through it. It makes everything just kind of pop. And in life, in real paintings, in real life, there's warm and cool in everything. In everything. So those people that do real paintings, what do you call it? I'm talking about still lifes and realism. There's other paintings where you'll be monochromatic and use just one color, but generally, like you see some of the blue shown through, then it's super cool, guys. Just a little bit shows through, and it just gives us some ambiance. When we talk about doing something a little extra, give things a little magic. The people, like I told you, I noticed it doesn't sound important, but they stand there and you're looking at my stuff, and I look how they really look. And they're not really artists, but the eye will know, even if you're not an artist. If you pick up on these little details, people see them. That's what makes them extra. See that little blue? That makes it really super different. So her paintings are so different. I get a little color on there. It's okay, we can fix it. So be aware that just adding these little differences makes a difference. But yes, so I'm using a warm background, or cool background, so I put this warm color over the top. It just really looks really cool, because I want an antique look. All right. I want a little wonky on this, because I want it to look really old, so I'm not going to worry about it being real perfect. I want some of this blue to show through. If I was doing a red, that it depends on the red. Some reds are warm and some are cool, but if it was a warm red, I could go over that with a cool color, which would be like blue. So that's why you gotta learn a little bit about your colors and color mixing. It makes all the difference in your paintings. I mean, even if they're not like anything fancy. I teach them that it's the wow factor. Some people can all do the same painting, and one will be wow. They're not a big change, but there's just that little thing about knowing your colors and color placement and all those little things that makes yours just a little different. That's what you want. You want to be like everybody else. So this gives us a nice antique look. I'm going to mix a little bit of this green and blue too. I'm going to kind of go back up in here and darken this up with the green and blue. Use a little darkness to it. Just a little contrast, guys, right? Contrast. You need contrast. Contrast is important. A little more yellow in here too. A long day today for me. I tried to get a nap. The lady across the street came and said, hey, I just want to see if you're all right. I'm like, she's gone all day. She just want to come and talk. So I said, oh, she don't have to get up. No, I'll get up. So we sat on the porch, talk for a while. It's actually kind of nice out. Then my daughter didn't want to leave because she wanted to take me to dinner. But I said, I can't. I got to wait for this medication. What I take has to be refrigerated. So, yeah, so it ended up being kind of a long day. But we did go a little shopping. She went to the bookstore. I didn't really want any books. But I did go to the Dollar Tree, which is like one of my favorite things to do. I don't know what you guys like the Dollar Tree? Because I love the Dollar Tree. I'm going to fix this a little bit. For $1.25, I got the cutest. You know, I never told you guys that last year, we had all those boxes for when the house got damaged. And they stored everything for us. And there was one box left. I had some really, really beautiful Halloween stuff. A lot of them things I made and things were gifts from my customers. Gave me a lot of stuff. And she accidentally donated it to the Salvation Army. So works at not Marshall. So she's been replenishing my Halloween. I love Halloween like I love Christmas, but I don't need that much. But I found a few things I'm pretty happy with, and some of them are going to be projects. So. And did you guys see that I also got stuff from Essential Stencils? We're going to make 2 different door hangers. And I got some really pretty ribbon from there. Little pumpkins and orange on them. Really pretty. And one's like a plaid. So I'm just going through and just kind of putting my highlights on now. Making this pop a little bit. Now you could keep this a little tamer and not use so much white. But I'm going to kind of brighten up just a little bit. Now I'm going to leave that blue and orange and brown, or blue and brown like it is. Now you could come in and maybe add a little color of this if you wanted to put some little roses in. You could do that. You do you, boo. Alright, so I think I'm pretty much done with this one too. So let's see what we got done tonight. I'll take a picture of everything. Came out kind of cute, huh? So this gives you a little more of a vintage look. Which kind of really matches this old, I want it to be kind of in the same family. You can even put a ribbon on there maybe a few more tendrils, whatever you want. And then we got our witches. Our witches be cool. Got a chubby witch, skinny witch. Yeah. She went on a Ozempic diet and now she's skinny. Change your head up. And I'm missing one. What do you do with it? Well, there's another one somewhere. Oh, right here. This one. And then this one. A little wild looking too. Different colors. Give you different looks. That one I left the edges out. Isn't that cool? And this one I did everything. I did like paneling in the back. So you can do these 3 and do anything you want. You could even do something like wild. You could do like, kind of neon or something, I got glow-in-the-dark paint. I might do something with my glow-in-the-dark. I don't know what yet. I found like this purple mask candy dish, really cool. And I got those purple lights. And I think as a display, I'm going to put the purple lights around it. And then I bought a witch's shoe for next to it. And it's got like the purple and the black and the orange, that shiny, cheap looking sprinkly stuff. That's going to look really cute. I think it'd be a cute little display near my witches. So, yeah, I'll show it to you when I get done. I had a little, sometimes, you know, you're out at the Dollar Tree and I'm like, whew, I couldn't buy this. I'll put it all together. Did you do the chunky one? Well, she wasn't meant to come out chunky. It just happened. I got a little carried away with the skirt. But the first one came out a little better. But that's why you pencil it in first. I mean, if I had painted the background, I could just take the background and cut that in and make it thinner. You know what I'm talking about, right? So, yeah, and you could change the hats up. Now, I don't know this woman's like. If I find her site again, I will send it over to our private group. And you can look at some of the different ones, but they're actual dolls. They're handmade dolls, and she sells them. So I says, well, I can do those. And they're all like bright, pretty colors. You know, I love that. So this one came out really cute. So you guys that are new to this group or are just kind of watching, kind of come over. I put this up. Yeah, it's up already. And join us. And like I said, we do all different things. In 2 weeks, not this week, next week in my private group, we're going to do this on a big canvas. I haven't done it yet, but we're going to do this on a big canvas. I'm not sure which one, but we're going to do it pretty big. And then we did this last week in the private group. Ollie. Like Ollie, but Owlie. And he's a takeoff of something that I seen in the Dollar Tree. From China, probably something. It looks like 30s or 40s design, kind of Betty Boop kind of style. So we did that, and I got a couple other things going on. I think I'm going to do a witch, and I did a ghost, but I wasn't too thrilled about her, so we're not going to do that. And I got some prizes to give out. I'm going to announce them on Sunday for everybody. We do a challenge. Last month was tropical, or this month was tropical. And I usually do some like Halloween pumpkin challenges, stuff like that. And then in the ATC group, we're going to do that too, which is another thing. We're going to have a little talk about that. So, all right, guys. So you guys have a great night. And I will see you Sunday. I'm going to come and announce the winners and talk about a few things and in this group and announce the winners and stuff and talk about what we're going to do. Some new plans. So you guys have a great night, and I hope inspiration finds you wherever you go. And make art, guys. Make lots and lots of art. Have a great night. I'll see you later. Bye.